So I'm sure you're like me and you enjoy not only betting but betting on football and other sports. Well, today I'm going to be showing you guys a Betfair method that teaches you how you can extract a bit more profit from your bets. Now, I'll be completely honest, when using Betfair methods there is probably around 6 or 7 of them I'd say, and all these do are they look to be a bit more calculated than regular bets. They look to really try and maximise the profit and minimise the loss when you lose. One of the main drawbacks I've found with researching these Betfair methods is quite a lot of people who teach you them say you need to do a lot of research into the game. You need to choose a method. For example, today we're going with laying the draw. You need to choose that method or any other method and then research every game going on until you find the game that is right for this method. I say that is bullshit. I say all you need to do is choose a game and then decide which method fits that game. Instead of just choosing one method, learn them all or have notes of them all so you know what you're doing, and then any game will apply to at least one of their methods, so you don't have to spend hours searching for the right game for the method you're using. Instead, get a broader selection of methods in your library and then choose any game at all and decide which one suits that. Now you might be wondering, well, you're only teaching me laying the draw today. Don't worry, we're going to be going through all the methods eventually over the next few weeks, and then at the end, once I've taught you around about 4 or 5 of the methods, what we'll do is, as always on this channel, we'll spend a full week using this way to make money, and I will literally choose every single game I can find and we'll work out together which method best suits that, so you can see the process that I'll use behind it. So starting off today with laying the draw, it's very simple, but before I get into that, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the future videos coming up. If you're new to the channel, what we do is we take methods people have been using online to make money, such as match betting, such as dropshipping and Betfair matchmaking as such. Literally everything we can find online, and we try it out ourselves to see if it really does work as well as people say it does on YouTube, just so that in case it doesn't work, you guys don't end up losing loads of money trying it yourself, and then if we find out here that it does work, you guys can go do it as well. And let each other know down in the comments if you've got any tips yourself as well, just so that we cut out the middleman and we really get started and get making some money online. So laying the draw, it is fairly simple. You're going to want to wait. There is 2 methods, by the way, but the first one is what I'd recommend if you're a beginner. You're going to want to wait until the 60th to 70th minute in a game. You're going to want the game to be tied, either at 1-1, 0-0, probably not 2-2, because the whole aim of laying the draw is that you want the game to end up not being a draw. You want the game to end up having at least another goal, having a team win in the end. So at 2-2, there's already been 4 goals in that game. Is there really going to be a 5th? Probably not. So it's probably not worth the risk at 2-2. But 1-1, 0-0, definitely go for it, as long as you think one of the teams is going to end up winning. Full-heartedly, I would recommend you're watching this game. If you know anything about football and you enjoy watching the sport, then you'll know in the 60th or 70th minute, even if it is 0-0 or 1-1, you'll know if there's a team who's playing better. You'll know if there's a team who's better in the league, who normally scores later on. Keep an eye out for them type of games, because they're the games that are perfect for laying the draw. And when you're laying the draw, you want to make sure that the price is around 2.0 or below, maybe a little bit more if you can bear it, but not too high. The higher the price is, kind of the more money you'll lose quickly as that price drops if no goal goes in. But honestly, try and keep around 2. 2 is a good mark. Below it's obviously better, but if it's just a little bit higher and you think a goal is going to go in quickly, then obviously grab that price as soon as you can. And the final tip is honestly just make sure 100% that you think there's going to be another goal in this game. So just to show you guys that this does actually work, I've done this twice now. I did it yesterday and the day before, just to make sure that I had a full grip on how this tactic works. So let me just show you guys that now. So if we look behind, you can see, by the way, I do fully recommend SofaScore. If you have no clue about football and you see your game's in the 60th, 70th minute, it's 0-0, just honestly click on the team, find it on SofaScore, and then just take a look at their head-to-head records, their recent team streaks, stuff like that, and then just go down and look at their recent matches. Click on it, see, did they score late on? Are they more likely to score late on? Have they got a pattern of doing that? Do stuff like that. Because really it is just a little bit about research, but it doesn't have to be hours long of research. Once we've got more than just this method in our bank, we'll be able just to easily, quickly select which method that we know is going to suit the game. But SofaScore is definitely a good help. So I was watching football and I saw the other day that Wigan and Wimbledon were 0-0. Now if we look at the league table, I don't know how I can actually find that over here, it's over here. So if we look at the league table, you can see both these teams really need a result. And it was getting quite late on in the game. I believe I put the bet on for Wigan and Wimbledon, as you can see here, at 7:45. So I don't know what time that will have been in this game, but it was just about, I'd say about 4 or 5 minutes before their goal went in. It was 0-0 and I thought, yes, we'll get that done. It was above 2. It was 2.16 when I laid the draw. For those who don't know how to do that, laying the draw is very simple. If we get up just a random football game today, you can see the draw price here, and then laying the draw is just there, so you just click on that. I've just been doing it with £10 recently. I feel like that's a good starting price, but the reason why the thumbnail and the title are clickbaity is because this is fully scalable. Although I've only done this with £10, you could do it with £100, £1,000 each time, completely up to you. But I really want to lose a game. I want to lay the draw, I should say, and then have it end in a draw. I want to see how much we actually lose of that £10 before I then scale up. Because obviously, if that scaling up then just reduces the whole £10 profit we've made, then that's not great. But as you can see with this AFC Wimbledon and Wigan game, I laid the draw and then the goal went in. So what you can do when the goal goes in is you can literally, there will be a button up here. In fact, let me just show you. So this is kind of what it looks like when you're betting. As you can see, this is the Wimbledon Wigan game, the 68th minute. There will be a button round about where my mouse is here, which will say cash out. And that's why I prefer Betfair over Smarkets in this situation, because obviously you can use any exchange doing these methods. It doesn't have to be specific to Betfair. But there will be a cash out button, and it tells you your current profit, and it tells you your profit over here in the left hand side as well. So I literally, the second that goal went in, I didn't do a full cash out, I just did a partial cash out. So I cashed out my £5 profit, or my £10 profit, I should say, my £10 stake. I cashed that out and then let whatever was left just ride for a little bit until the price went up just a little bit more, and then I did another full cash out. So in the end, with the AFC Wimbledon Wigan game, it did end up in a draw, so I probably should have left it. If I'd have left it, then, in fact, no, I shouldn't have left it, because it ended in a draw, so we didn't want that. So I did the right thing, cashing out. So when I cashed out, you can see I made a little bit of profit, £4 something. Let me just show you over on Betfair. If we go to betting profit and loss, and then go to last 7 days, you can see with AFC Wimbledon and Wigan, we made £4.77. That is from a £10 bet. £10 that once that goal went in, we got the whole £10 back, and then just let it ride for a little bit. So that is a very decent return for about 5 minutes worth of work. After that, the next day, it was Birmingham Reading. Birmingham, a new manager, desperate to get a result. Reading up, fighting for the playoffs with teams pressing them from below. They need to get the result. So I thought both these teams are going to be going for it. This one was a little different. It was already 1-1. But I knew from my interest in football that Reading do tend to score quite late on. And with Reading either pushing Birmingham, they were either going to get a goal themselves or be vulnerable for the counter-attack. As you can see then, if we go over to here, you can see we laid the draw for Reading and Birmingham at 9:10. I'm not sure what minute that was in the game, but you can see yet again another £10 stake in at laying the draw. We then waited not too long, 17 minutes later, and I then pressed that cash out button. There was a goal scored, and I thought, you know what, we'll just take all the profit this time, because the profit was sat at a very nice £5 and roughly 70 pence. So I was very happy just to take that straight away. It's more than a 50% increase on what we bet, so I instantly just cashed out for that amount. And there we go. It did end up finishing in a win for Birmingham, so if I'd have left it, I would have earned a lot more money, but I'm glad just to get that 50 pence. So I deposited £20 into this account 2 days ago. I've done this twice, won twice, and now I have £30.16. So I've basically made enough money for me to be able to do this again and not worry about losing it, because we've made that £10 back. Now, if you do go and do this method using Betfair, one thing that will happen is, as you can see here, I have fully cashed out. This was the first night, so I bet my £10, I fully cashed out, got my profit, but I only had £20 in my account. That might confuse you. Yes, we've got our money back, so we're guaranteed not to make a loss, but there is none of that £4 profit there. And that is because when you actually cash out of a bet on Betfair, you're not really cashing out of the bet. You're just betting against yourself and equaling it out. I know that might be a bit complicated, but you can see here by the bet what we did here. So we backed the draw, and then we laid against Wimbledon, laid against Wigan. Loads of stuff happens when you cash out, which is why I love the fact that you can just press cash out and it does it all for you. But it does take a bit of getting your head around the fact you haven't cashed out, essentially. You're just waiting there. You've cashed out your original stake, but the profit is still in and amongst the game, and that is because it's a variable still. So as you can see here, if Wimbledon went on to win the game, we would have actually made £4.76. If Wigan won the game, we would have made £4.72, and if it ended in a draw, we would have made £4.71. So don't worry if the balance isn't reflected of the fact that you've cashed out and made a profit. Just wait for the game to be over, then wait about 5-10 minutes, and it will update your balance for you. So the video I watched which explained this method, and obviously I then went and tested it, but it gave you two choices. The second choice was the more advanced method, which was betting on the team in the first half, waiting for around the 20th to 30th minute and hoping it was still a draw, and then betting against the draw, laying the draw I should say, but only in terms of a first half result. So if we're on this Shakhtar-Roma game, you can see on this left hand side there is a half-time section. So what this second tactic is recommending is that in the 20th to 30th minute, as long as the price is obviously below or around about 2.0 in this section here, then you will lay the draw for the first half. You then hope a goal goes in between that 20th and 30th minute to the end of the first half. It's a bit quicker pace because you don't actually have that long to react and to cash out, and some teams might be holding off in the first half thinking let's just get to half time with the draw and not worry about it, whereas towards the end of the game teams really push on and try and get that lead as quickly as they can. I'm not a fan of this method because of that reason. A team, even if they're the better team, might just around about the 30th to 35th minute be thinking, we'll just deal with this, we'll keep it nice and easy for the rest of the first half, and then we'll push on in the second half. I really don't like using this method. I'm never going to use this method, I don't think anyway. We might try it once during that week, but as far as I'm concerned, I'd stay away from that method. Just stick with the first one. There's nothing wrong with the first one. Happily just stick with the first one. So I did want one of these games to lose so I could tell you what the difference was and how much of a loss you make when it loses. I believe you will lose your full stake, obviously, because you're betting against the draw and the draw isn't happening. But with Betfair, you can cash out partially as it goes. So if you get a little bit less confident that it's going to happen and a little bit less confident that there's going to be another goal in that game, then you can do a partial cash out. I'll show you that during that week-long video, obviously. But you can do a partial cash out, meaning, yes, you'll make an instant loss and you'll have made a loss regardless of if a goal happens in the game, but you will at least have some of your money back, which won't happen if you make a full loss at the end of it. And doing a partial cash out instead of a full cash out, you will still have some of your stake left in that bet, so that if a goal does happen, you will then go on and make some profit as well. But from doing this for 2 days, we've made £10. We've made our money back. So we have made £10.16, so I can now go and do a full £20 on the game if I wanted to, and it's essentially the same risk as me doing the £10 bet. If I did this with £100, I would have made £100 back now. I have made 100% of what I staked over the course of 2 games. I think that is mental. We did the 2-up the other week, Paddy Power 2-up method. You can go check that out if you want. We only really made £8 during the week, and that was because of the free bet at the end of it. It really wasn't that much money, but here we've made 100% of what we've staked in 2 matches in roughly 15 minutes each. It is huge amounts of profit. But obviously I think with having this huge amount of profit, if a loss does happen, you will lose quite a bit as well. So I wouldn't recommend going straight in with the 100. I'd recommend going in with 5 or 10, whatever you feel comfortable with. Even going with the pound if you're not 100% comfortable. Work at it for a week, learn the strategy, and then either use your profit to boost your stake. So, example, if you were me, bet with £20 now instead of 10, or use your profit as like a backup. So now if I did this £10 stake and continue doing it with £10, if I made a loss, I can keep going because I've got that £10 worth of profit on the side. It's completely up to you. Let me know down in the comments what your tactic is for laying the draw. But in the next few weeks, we will have the next few tactics coming out with us. Over 1.5s, under 1.5 goals. There is betting against the loser. There is loads of different methods out there. There's pretty much a method for every single game. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on them. Leave a like if you've enjoyed this video as well. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. If I've missed anything, let me know in the comments. And if you've got any questions, comment down below as well. And I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.